friends! Welcome to my X journey. So it's Mrs. Y here again, and if you're new here, welcome. For those who are returning subscriber, welcome back. This channel talks about mostly Hermes, but occasionally I talk about other brands like Chanel and Rolex. If you are interested in these luxury brands, please consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so that you won't miss any of my future videos. Today, I am going to share with you all through an interview style how Mr. Y got offered the Hermes a la carte experience from his SA. Let's give a round of applause to our special guest, Hubby, for coming on to my channel today. Just a disclaimer that this video might be longer than usual, so please grab a cup of tea and some snacks before continuing with the video. So first question, can you give my YouTube viewers a quick background to your relationship with your SA?
Yeah, of course. So we've been working with this SA since 2020, but I have been long-term Hermes fans, okay? Or I've been purchasing Hermes since, I would say, 2008. So, you know, in terms of my client's history, it's quite lengthy in terms of the time. But yeah, prior to 2020, I mainly shop for myself and I help my mother to shop for her bags. And back in the days, it would be so much easier to get, you know, Birkin or Kelly. If you are in the right time, in the right place, you can walk in and be able to purchase one. And that's what I did most of the time for my mother. So I never really, you know, have this Hermes game. And I don't see it as a game anymore, to be honest. You know, I'm just buying something that I like and what the family likes. So yeah, 2020, we went in to this particular store. I have no connection with an SA. So I was asking on my behalf of my mother for another Birkin because it was her big milestone birthday and she would love to get another Birkin. So we just went in on an afternoon and mainly started off with a Twillies with this particular SA. And yes, I did ask the question the very first time that I met this SA, and I asked, do you have a Birkin? Because I would like to purchase a Birkin for my mother because of her 65th birthday. So yeah, basically that's how it all started. And of course, since 2020, we have gotten 3 Quota bags from this particular SA. So this is mom's Birkin, the Birkin 30 in Grass Ashford. And then of course, this is Mrs. Y's black Birkin in B30. And then last year in November, we had our latest purchase, which was the Kelly 28.
Yeah, so in my opinions, I think my hubby's SA really likes my hubby. I don't know why. Maybe she thinks that, you know, he's a good son and a good hubby. So
yeah, I think that's probably the main thing is that's how we got connected.
Yeah.
She knows that, you know, I am, you know, looking out for my mom, shopping, as well as for you. So I think she genuinely liked that.
I remember when I got my Birkin, like after we pay, she was saying to my hubby, so you got things for your wife and your mom? What about yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Y does have a wish list and she is still working on it. So just finger crossed for Mr. Y that it will come soon.
And I think we've been pretty lucky in terms of a lot of people said there's like this ratio. But to be honest, we don't look at how much we spend and then asking for a bag because she just naturally asks us like, oh, what's the next bag you want, you know?
Yeah.
And if you have a really good relationship with your SA, they don't really care about how much you spend, to be honest. I think mainly they care about, do you use the bag? Do you really love the brand? Are you a reseller?
Yeah, she used to say that. She used to be like telling us, especially when she sold us the Pegasus, she sold us those Kelly Tully bag charm, the Kelly doll bag charm. She would be like, oh, these can sell a lot of money. I heard from my colleagues, like, and we were like, we normally don't give much response just because we're not. I think since we purchased 2 Birkin, she actually never mentioned that again.
And I think initially it the relationship started slow because 2020 we only got 1 Quota bag, and that's really the first thing I asked, right? A Quota bag. And then, you know, we did buy Mrs. Y a Lindy before the Quota bag, but then after this Quota bag, we have not shopped with the SA for like a year, close to a year, you know, like a good 10 months. And then I was keep on asking another Quota bag for Mrs. Y. So, you know, I think...
Well, we did try for non-Quota bag, but they just don't have it. Remember?
Yeah. We tried for non-Quota bag, but I think in general, you know, the SA had to take that risk as well sometimes. So, you know, everyone's journey is different, and I call it a journey, not purposely scoring these Quota bag. It is going through a journey in terms of waiting for the desire wish that you want, okay? Like the specific bag that you wanted. And of course, just enjoying the whole process when you're buying things from Hermes, because they have, you know, like good quality things, like, you know, tableware that we use. So, yeah.
But even though there are times we got the offer that's not really on our wish list. If you have not yet watched how I score my Birkin from 2021, I'll put the link above and down below because it was not on my wish list. So, yeah, it could happen. I mean, it could happen. And then sometimes you just have to turn down if you really don't like it. But we decided to go in and look at it, and we fell in love. So that's how we continue, you know, we purchased. So let's move on to the main questions for this video. So how did you get offered the Hermes a la carte experience?
Yeah, so it's actually a funny story because it is so random. Since November after the Kelly purchase, we have not made any further purchase with her. Like, you know, it's like we weren't looking for anything at that moment in time. So also, you know, nothing is intentional, like in terms of getting things just for bags. No, that's never our style. If I don't have anything in mind that I want to get, I don't contact the SA. I think except one situation, I think December we did pay a visit to her just because we want to show our appreciation, and we just drop off some chocolate for her. And basically we only spoke a couple minutes and then we just left. You know, we were, we were around the area. That's why we decided to, send her some little goodies, right? But January, February, we did not buy anything. I think the only time that I did contact her was placing a new wish list for the year because my mom was looking for another Quota bag. I can share the color. It is in Rouge Edge, which is a very dark red, right? It's like almost like a burgundy red kind of thing. And it's a very classic Hermes color. So that's what I contacted her with. And then on Valentine's Day, she just like randomly asked me, hey, what's your client's ID number? I was like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know that on top of my head, you know? So I quickly asked Mrs. Y to go look it up on the receipts at home. Since she's working remotely, that's, you know, one good thing. I was at my office, you know? So then I quickly replied after, and then I know it's quite strange because normally that my essay doesn't asked me something like this because, you know, the Quota bag, she normally need to apply for it and they need to write up, I'm sure fill in the form, need the client's number.
Yeah.
But she never asked me that question. So I know this is going to be something special for sure. And in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe this is a special order. But of course, I didn't want to, you know, give myself that high of a hope, right? And then after I gave her the number, she replied, oh, I was thinking to offer you a special order. So then my jaw just like dropped because I was like, wow, like we're not super VVIP, we're not VIP. So like, I'm just stunned and surprised. And of course I, you know, had to call Mrs. Y quickly about this news. And then it took the SA 1 day to confirm and, you know, I had to apply the paperwork and then the manager have to approve it.
Right.
Since Mrs. Y already asked me a few questions, I think it's all fair for me now to ask her questions. So after knowing the opportunity for special order, like what is your initial thoughts or how did you feel about this?
I was shocked. Of course I was shocked. I was a little bit, not confused, but thinking like what style exactly I want. I mean, I had, you know, on my wish list, I mean, I wanted the Birkin 25 and the mini Kelly and maybe a Kelly 25. It's just like all these different options or like another B30, you know? So it's more like what size, what style am I looking for, and the color. The color is very important. Like I do have some sort of expectation, but then I know there's limitation also. So as I heard the news, it's like, okay, but I might only able to get once in a lifetime. So what do I really want? So then, you know, we start like searching and, you know, doing a lot of research.
So for those viewers who are not familiar with the special order, well, what kind of Hermes handbag can you make in your special order?
I believe not only the Quota bag, meaning like not only the Kelly, Birkin, or even Constance, you can actually do Lindy as well. I think there's plenty more, but I'm not 100% sure. As I'm searching, I'm only searching for Quota bags. So if you guys got an offer, an SO, what will be your dream SO? You know, your dream combination or what bag you would choose? Please feel free to comment below and share with the community.
Okay, so let's get into the experience of the SO. So we went in extra early, we booked it. Okay, so let's talk about our actual experience at the store with the Hermes a la carte. I was able to arrange 2 weeks after from the initial offer. So that way, I think it gives us enough time to go through the bag style, color combination, etc. So as we talk about it, I think it's good to give the viewers some tips, right?
Yeah.
In terms of...
Because our process was very fast.
Yeah, so our process was super fast. So it only lasted, what, how?
30 minutes?
Yeah, 30 minutes. Yeah,
so it was very fast.
All right, so let's get on with it. So yeah, we booked early in the morning on a Saturday. We went in. I was kind of being, I want to be a little bit more courteous because, like, you know, if you go in early in the morning, the chances of people going to the store is actually less. But apparently the store was there was quite a lot of people going in at the time, you know, like many people were getting offers. So
yeah, of something.
We saw 2 mini Kellys being offered that day. That was crazy. And it was a go-on-go color, so that was quite interesting. But yeah, like, luckily the SA actually invited the manager to help us with the process. So can you tell the viewer, like, what was the process in terms of doing the special order?
So yeah, the manager came in and along with our SA, and then he basically really like nice and introduced himself with his experience working at Hermes store. He was pretty new at that store, but he has a lot of experience on helping clients to make special order bag. So he gave us like some introduction about the special order, like how rare it is, how special it is. First thing he asked was, what style am I looking for?
Yeah, so I think it's important to go in before doing a special order, knowing exactly the style, perhaps even the size of the bag, right?
Yes, because he would tell you exactly what the limitations are. Because I believe he mentioned how if you want a Birkin in say style, you can only get Epsom leather.
Yeah, he mentioned that for this very first round, because I think the Cellier style is relatively new.
Yeah,
so then they're only limiting the clients in the Epsom leather.
Yeah.
But I think he also mentioned there's the Birkin style has more variety in terms of option that you can choose in terms of everything in general.
Yeah, everything else, if it's not in the Cellier style.
Yeah,
then it's like everything else. Kelly, on the other hand, if it's Cellier style, you technically can do Mysore leather as well, not only the Epsom. So, which was nice to know.
So in terms of, I think he also mentioned the Birkin. When people say the Birkin, it is always referred to the Riton style.
The traditional
and then usually Birkin Cellier is referring to, of course, the Cellier version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever you hear the Birkin, it's just going to be automatically default to the Riton style.
Yeah. So after we pick a style and he asked, okay, so what color are you looking for? So there are times that it's, if you're asking for a certain color and then if you demand in a certain leather, and if they don't have the color that you want, then they will recommend you another color in that leather. So I feel like it depends on what you think is more important.
I think we got really lucky in terms of like the color combination that we have given. And right away, he was able to show us, oh, one of them doesn't work in this leather. But if you pick another leather, well, the other color wouldn't be offered. So it's like 50-50. Like we got a 50-50 in terms of the color choices that we really want in the combination. But he was very...
he was very helpful.
He was very helpful. Like he gave an alternative of the color that weren't being offered in that particular leather.
Right. But it's a very, very close to what we exactly want. So we basically choose like which color is more important and then which leather we prefer more.
Yeah.
So it works out really good.
Yeah. And then I think we asked about the goat skin, and I had mentioned that we did research and there's two types of goat skin. The Chèvre Mysore is one of them, and I think the other one is the Chèvre de Commande. I'm not so sure how you pronounce it, but I think the SA got really... the manager
was really impressed. He's like, you really did tons of research. Like, you know.
Yeah, so we were saying... is the other one being offered, right? The Chèvre Commande. And then he said, they don't actually offer it in SO, surprisingly. He said, not at all.
But normally in shop, you don't get that one as often either. Yeah. It's very hard. Yeah. It's very rare, which I'm surprised when it's an SO and you still don't get offer in that leather. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But he said it's just rare. But he did mention that, every time they can do an SO, it's different combinations. So it's different leather, different colors being offered in that magic box. Okay, so because doing our research, I think each SA at each store, at least in the US, you're most likely able to get to SO. Not you're able to get. It's more like in a year they have two chances.
Yeah, in a year they offer 2 special order opportunity for clients. But I think the manager really stressed out like special order is so rare that, you know, I don't think it's a once in a lifetime thing, but it's like they can really only offer once a year for special clients. Like you won't be able to place a special order this spring and then following fall you get this offer again that quickly. Maybe like at least a year later or even, you know, a couple years later down the road, I think, you know, yeah.
Then you might get another offer. But I think that really depending on your SA and also the store manager decision.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to throw in the tips here. I think one of the reason why we got the offer for SO. Now, I've never mentioned it to my SA before. I know it existed, but never mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
And I think she briefly mentioned like Rouge H is so hard to get. Like that color, it is so rare to get in one of those Quota bag. And I think that is the reason why she was thinking, give this opportunity to us. So definitely very gracious, you know, like, and I guess that's one of the tips. If you don't want to ask your SA to like, hey, can I get a special order opportunity or experience? Maybe perhaps pick a color that is so rare to get. That way your SA might like, oh, I really want to fulfill my client's wish. But knowing that it's never going to happen, maybe the special order will come in naturally. I don't know. Try it out, guys.
I don't know, but we ended up didn't pick that color.
Yeah,
that's the funniest thing.
Yeah,
but we still picked the ones that's really hard to get also. So they said it's still very good. Like we're picking the right thing. So while you're talking about color, the store manager basically asked, do we want a solid color or a bi-color? So we chose bi-color. So then he asked, you know, where the color placement you want to be. Do you want a cassette style, which means, you know, in the front, it will just have a line and it has 2 different colors.
So half and half, right? It divides the bag half and half. I think another version is that you can have a solid color in the front and then the side is different along with the handle with the sangle. So that can be different. And then there's another style where the whole exterior is the same color. The interior of the bag is a different color. And then the final option is the exterior is one color except the pile. I think this is called pile. I don't know. But yeah, that can be different. So yeah, basically I think that's it.
So what style do you guys think I picked?
Little hint, definitely a bi-color.
Definitely not a cassette, okay?
I guess you gotta subscribe to my H Journey, Mrs. Y's channel here below in order to really closely follow her unboxing of this Quota bag. So I guess you really need to subscribe and hit the bell notification right now in order to follow Mrs. Y's H Journey here in terms of which bag it is, in terms of the special order.
So the next thing that we have to make decision on was the hardware.
So in terms of hardware, how many choices were there?
Yeah, I think it was 6. So there was gold, palladium as usual, and there's rose gold, there's brush gold, brush palladium, and then champagne. So there's 6. And the store manager told us that, you know, the rose gold and champagne occasionally will be an offer on regular bags.
Like the regular Quota bags?
Yeah, like regular offer.
Which is very interesting.
Because I requested a rose gold hardware, but, you know, never came yet. And
Poor thing, never happened.
I know. And I actually never knew about the champagne gold. that will be offered as well, because they said they see it occasionally. So then I'm like, okay, occasionally, I'm still looking for the rose gold. Okay. Anyways, that being said, they highly recommend us to pick the brushed gold or the brushed palladium.
But the question is, did we follow their advice? That's the question.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
But something to think about, when you guys get the chance to pick your SO,
don't feel pressure.
Don't feel pressure that, that hardware is hard to get. You kind of have to match your color and envision it. Does it fit,
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressure to do extreme special order and special combination. Pick something that you actually going to wear and, imagine that you can actually use it on a daily basis or in a practical way. What do you wear normally? Does it go with your outfit? That kind of thing, right? Don't go to the extreme. Do not go to the extreme.
Yeah, that's our recommendation.
And then the final step.
The stitching.
Yeah, there was tons of stitching available for you to pick, which is a lot.
A little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
On stitching, because it's so small, but it can really change the look of your bag.
So apparently, if you're doing a bicolor, we were explaining this particular situation. You can go with an option that completely let the craftsman to decide for you on your behalf, which the manager said you really should not. Like, that's not advice.
Interesting.
Okay, so I think maybe if the craftsman is more of a wild side, then it might be, that person might pick something that you really don't want.
Yeah,
right?
It can be risky, I guess.
Or you can have the same, whatever color bag that you pick, like, this is Gresh Ashford, and then the stitching is gonna match the color, right? So it would basically have the same color palettes with your bag color. That's another option. Another option is to
interchange.
Because you're doing a bicolor, if you do a bicolor, okay, you can interchange the color. So let's say this is black on the side, and then the black stitching would be in the front with the grass ashford, and then the side, the stitching would be black. So that's kind of interesting, where it switches. And then the third option was completely different color. In terms of your bag, which makes your bag pop. Yeah. So I think like this, right? The etude with the white stitching, it really makes the bag pop.
Yeah.
And then that would be a single color stitching. Yeah, so that was basically it. At the end, they put all the combination together, and they do ask you can take a picture of it. Unfortunately, when we were doing this whole process, they don't really allow any pictures to be taken, except the very end.
Because a lot of informations are internal. Like, they will show you what he meant by the placement of the colors, how it would look like, just for reference. But we can't take pictures of that. It's for internal purposes.
And most of the things is no longer paper.
He was using an iPad.
Yeah, he was using an iPad to write down our information, and then showing the different ways of the different colors can go on the bag was displayed on iPad. It was no longer a sheet of paper. So that was quite interesting. And my essay was being trained on the iPad because she never had that experience. So I myself would love to hear from Mrs. Y's YouTube viewer. What color combination, make your guess, what combination did Mrs. Y pick for her SO? Which style out of the top 3 bag, which is the Birkin, Kelly, and Constance, which style did she pick? And which color combination. So put that in the comment below. She would be very interested to read your comments. And again, don't forget to subscribe to her channel, click the subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you won't miss our journey for this special order, because we are super excited. Hopefully this SO bag will be unboxed in the new flagship store.
Right. Oh, for the timeline, we didn't mention about the timeline. So the store manager told us in the past it happens, 6 to a year or so. 6 to 12
they said
months.
they've been, before pandemic, they were pretty accurate in terms of at least 6 months to 8 months. So the pandemic really altered the timeline in terms of these special orders. So, he kind of said, well, there's a client of his in the past that it took 3 years or still waiting. This is the 3rd year and still waiting for it.
And the status is pending.
Yeah, so that is super crazy. And I think we did clarify one myth, like does normally, with the color combination that you choose, will your bag get rejected? And we were told no, okay?
You just have to wait really long.
Yeah, I guess depending on what kind of color combination and leather, if they don't have that leather, they can't create the bag, I think. So then they have to wait until that
But why would they
leather
offer?
come. I have no idea. That would be a good question.
I think it was like what that client chose Swift leather.
Yeah, Swift
I
leather.
thought Swift leather is not that hard.
I don't know, but maybe they didn't have that color dyed or whatever.
Very interesting.
So hopefully it doesn't take that long.
Once it comes, the next video will be the unboxing, but we don't know when. They said possibly 8 months to 16 months or so. So we'll see.
Yeah. So after the whole process, we did browse around the store because of course you go to Hermes, you don't just go and do your special order and not buy anything, right?
I think it depends.
I guess so.
But then we haven't shopped with your SA.
True, we haven't shopped with my SA since
November.
the year.
Yeah, so we did have things in mind that we want to get, but there are things that we want but she doesn't have.
Yeah, the funny thing, she always said, oh, the things that you always ask me, I don't have. I always have to say no to you.
And I hate to say no.
Yeah.
She said
So,
that.
so
But
funny.
it's true. I mean, we text her with a lot of different things like blanket.
And actually that day she did say no to us a few times because she really don't have anything.
Right, exactly. Well, but I did pick up something. So if you guys want to see this unboxing and
continue to follow Mrs. Y X Journey.
If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, you should really subscribe it so that you won't miss this unboxing, because this particular item is also hard to get. I've been looking for it, quite some time.
2 years looking for it.
Yeah, I don't understand why, but we will see. I mean, I will share with you guys with a story.
Also follow her on Instagram, Mrs. Y X Journey. So then you can follow her closely on Instagram.
Sometimes I just couldn't wait to film, so I just leak out a little bit. I'm not trying to keep anyone in suspense.
She is totally keeping everyone in suspense.
But it's hard, like I want to share, but I do want to share with my video, so I don't know, gotta do something.
Yeah.
But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's videos, and if you do, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!